A blessed day to you, all my sports to the bone people. Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are doing okay. As you can see, I am still smiling, and today is one day after the West Indies would have secured a famous victory against England. Talking about that third ODI that we won yesterday to secure the series. Now, there are a couple of things that I would have noticed watching this series that I want to highlight. As a matter of fact, there are a whole lot of things that we can highlight. But just for the purpose of this video, I am just going to zoom in on 5 things. 5 just little regular things. Hopefully, later on tonight, maybe about 8, we can do a live show to discuss some of the other things that we would have witnessed throughout this series. So just give a listening ear until the end. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. And you can subscribe to the channel to show your support. So the number one thing, talking about the coach now, Darren Sammy. Number one thing, you could clearly see that as the series was motoring along, the coaches were trying to do things to tweak it and trying to make sure that they are obviously are going to be trying to improve, but you could see them trying to tweak things, and you could see that the things that they highlighted or identified in interviews especially after the second game, you could see those things coming alive in the third game. You saw the intensity in the third game. You saw the players were putting out much more effort. We had 2 drop catches by Casey Carty, but generally speaking, they were tighter in the field. You understand? We saw people putting their body behind the line, and they spoke about the coach spoke about picking up early wickets, and that is something that they really and truly changed how they were playing, just to make sure that they were able to get early breakthroughs. That is how Matthew Ford came in. They dropped O'Shane Thomas, brought in Matthew Ford, and it paid dividends. So Darren Sammy, during the middle of the series there, would have, thinking after the second game, would have identified that we need to take early wickets, we need to take early breakthrough. We saw that. Another thing is Darren Sammy, he spoke about the guys showing the intensity in the field, and as I said, we saw that. So that is one thing that I wanted to highlight and to identify: ongoing coaching tweaks during the series. Because sometimes you might be watching and you're like, but they do the same thing in 3 games, 4 games. They don't see any sort of changes. But they went into the final game, they made the big call to switch out Thomas and bring in Matthew Ford, and it paid dividend. So that is what I'm saying, my viewers and subscribers. Sometimes as a coach, you make some little tweak, and the little tweak that you make end up to be a big thing. So I just wanted to highlight that. The next thing is Shepherd, Romario Shepherd, my viewers and subscribers. He is our main all-rounder, and the selectors and the coaches should let him know this. Not saying that they should go and bow down to him or whatever, but there are certain players in your squad. You need them to understand that they are a part of the core. We would have seen in the past where some people don't get selected because another man play basically the same role and have more time spent, with other people coming back into the mix. I am hoping that these people understand that. And the reason I am saying this is because teams are going to be fishing. Teams are going to be looking to hook Romario Shepherd. And when I say hook, I'm talking about franchise contracts, right? He has proven that he can be reliable. You understand? He is working on his bowling. It's an ongoing thing. His batting, he can do this against any bowler, right? He has shown that he has the ability to do that. He has shown that at the franchise level, and he has shown it at the international level. So I want these people to make sure that this man understands that he is very, very important to what they are building going forward where the white ball team is concerned. You know, not saying that going to stop anybody from fishing or from him biting on the bait when they're fishing, but you don't want a man believe say it's been taken for granted. One thing I know one thing people need to understand is when you have somebody that is vital or is a part of the core, they need to understand that and they need to know that. So I am just saying that, you know. The third thing is that the coach and the selectors, well, I don't know if the selectors had anything to do with this once the series would have begun, but the decision well, before even going to the decision, the coaches, you can see that you know, they seem to be serious about building a team. They seem to be serious about building a team. And I was looking at the reason for saying this is we saw how they kept the team from throughout all 3 games. Back in the days, we would have seen them giving a man 1 game, and if him not performing, rotate. Worse, if him get 2 games and not perform, they rotate him out. Now, they made the bold and the brave decision to go with Casey Carty for the 3rd game, and it worked out well. You understand? I am one of them that was looking after the 2nd game and saying, boy, right now we need to try and think how we going to win this game. I was even looking at it and saying, you know, because I am not afraid to say, because he went out there and performed, don't mean I'm going to jump ship and behave as if I was, you know, I am happy that he scored. But going into the 3rd game, I am one of them that was saying, one day if we can bring in Utley to open and then drop one of the current openers to number 3 and rotate Carty out. But it so happened that they kept him in and it paid dividends. You know, so as I said, the third thing there, the coach and the whole team's selectors and everybody seem as if they are serious about working on a plan, building a team, and not necessarily chopping and changing. Knowing that if a man get a couple of failures, you know, you still want to give him an opportunity. Worse if other people around the team say, I thought they were investing in this man, so they drop him, and then everybody start worry and start wonder if they're going to get dropped to and all of that. So it was a good call. I mean, majority of us, well, I can't speak for anybody else, but I know that having decided in my mind that I would have rotated him out. If he didn't perform, I would have said, you know, they should have dropped him. So now that he performed, it is only fair for me to sit in front of the camera, just as how I would have done if he didn't perform, and say, listen, the guy performed well, hats off to him, and going forward, these are the type of performances we want. This is how we want a number 3 batsman batting. I mean, you know, the way in which he got out, he will need to work on that. But I have no problem saying, listen, shout out to the coach for keeping him in, and shout out to the youth for seeing all and hearing all the noise, and, you know, and was still able to hold his calm. The 4th thing that I wanted to talk about here is Hope. Shai Hope, my viewers and subscribers, is still the heavyweight behind the batting. We saw that in the 1st game, we saw that in the 2nd game, and the 3rd game here, if not for the brilliance of Romario Shepherd, I mean, we had a good start from Alec at the top there. We probably would have been in some problems, right? You know, we probably would have been in some problems. So Shai Hope is still the heavyweight behind the batting. Having said that, I can say this, that the building that they are building, I can see them trying to form a batting group around him. Before, they had all rounders around him. You understand? I know some people like to say play this all rounder, because if you don't chip in with this, you can chip in with that. That is a perfect way to lose games, because man not going to put out the man not going to do what them supposed to do in one area and then say they're going to try and make it up in the next area. You understand? But based on how I see it, is as if they are trying to put a group around him, trying to get a start from the top, trying to get 2 solid openers. You get a number 3 that hopefully the number 3 will perform. Then you have Hope coming in at 4. Then you have people like Rutherford and Hetmeyer and Shepherd and these guys that you're expecting to chip in also. So it's a case of them, as I said, he's still at the heavyweight behind it, because if he fails and nobody else really chip, you know, it's probably easier to get this West Indies team down. But having seen those games, I can say that it's toward they select the team, it seems as if they are building around him. I mean, going into the series, quite a few of us had a problem with one particular player not being selected, he probably would have been a part of that group that is building around Shai Hope. So as I said, you're working on getting 2 solid openers, you're working on getting a number 3, you have Hope at 4, then you have somebody like a Rutherford and a Hetmeyer coming in. Those 2 guys, you expect them to bat some overs also. So, I'm talking about Hetmeyer. Definitely needs to step it up. Definitely needs to step it up. Especially going into this T20 series, he needs to step it up. And the final thing, my peeps, is roles are very clear. So that would tie in with what I was saying earlier. The roles are very, very clear. Right? The roles are clear. And I am a big fan of that. I am not a big fan of having bits and pieces cricketers all over the place. Roles are clear. Brandon King and Alec Artanes, they are specialists in the team. Artanes is there. You can use him every now and again to give you a couple overs, but you don't have him as an opener and saying that he's an opener that going to give you 8 overs out of 10. And then you say, boy, if him not perform with the batting, we can get 8 overs out of him. They make something that make no sense. He's not prime Jack Callis or whatever we're dealing with. Your openers, if your openers good enough to give you some overs, I have no problem with that. But when you're selecting it, it shouldn't, especially for an ODI game, it shouldn't be a case where you're looking, in my opinion, saying that, boy, this let's select this man because he's going to give us 7-8 overs. What about the batting? What about the batting? And then go out and slug. So I can see that the roles there. Same thing with Carty. Carty is expected to bat long. He's expected to absorb a lot of pressure. That is probably going to fit into what he seems comfortable doing, which is spending time at the crease. And then, as I said, Hope is there to bat out the most, if not the rest of the remaining over after those guys would have gotten dismissed. And then we had the other 2 batsmen. Hetmeyer is there as a specialist batsman. Rutherford is there who is batting and can also bowl. Then you have Romario Shepherd, the genuine all-rounder. Then you have the spinners and the seamers. That is how I'm not saying these 11 can beat any team in the world, but at least they know and understand the rules. So nobody can hide behind nobody and say, if them not do this, they can do that. But that is pretty much it, my viewers and subscribers. You can continue to stay tuned to the channel. Believe it. Later on, we definitely have another one coming up about this series. Big up.